What's up, everybody? Squirrel Man's back again. Another gun thoughts video. Which guns are the best guns? That is like such a hard question uh, to answer because it's so controversial. Because everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their preference. There's guys that love Glocks, and then there's guys that wouldn't dare touch one. There's AR-15 guys. There's AK-47 guys. I'm a huge AR guy. I have yet to own my first AK, but I would like to have one soon. Really, the real reason why I'm making this video is because me personally, unless I have like this huge budget, of just throwaway money, I can't go out and just buy all sorts of guns just because, I have to be able to look at this thing, especially with pistols. It's so hard for me to buy a pistol. It's like almost impossible because the first thing I'm saying is, well, is this thing going to just sit in my safe or am I actually going to shoot this thing? And if I can't carry it with me comfortably concealed, then why would I ever buy this? I don't like spending hundreds of dollars on something for it to just sit in my safe. I mean, there's got to be a couple of you out there that agree with me, right? It's like every time I buy like a full size pistol, like I remember a couple of years ago I bought this SIG. It was a 40 caliber, and that's the other thing. I've a terrible time keeping a 40 caliber pistol. I don't know. Every time I buy one, I end up selling it. But it was a beautiful gun. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. It was great. But I was like, this thing is huge. It's not something you carry. I mean, it was big. Right? I think it had like a 5-inch barrel on it. It was pretty big. It was a beautiful gun. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, but I shot it maybe 2 times and was like, I have no reason to keep this. So I sold it for $400. Now ARs, the reason why I love those rifles is because they're so easy to build. They're like, I call them Mr. Potato Head guns, they're so easy to build. They're a lot of fun to build. There's like 5 billion parts out there for them. They're so easy to find parts for. And there's like a gajillion different like combinations and varieties of the way you can build that thing. That's why people get so stuck on those things. They're like, why do you keep, and the people on the outside are like, why do you keep buying those? Because they're fun. They're a lot of fun to build. It's like a guy that collects Mustangs. He's got like 40 Mustangs. He's so into that car and he knows everything about it from back to front, up and down, sideways. It's like he knows everything about it. That's how I feel about the AR platform. And I hope I feel that way about the AK soon. I really want to get my first AK, but like I'll hunt and search on the internet for different kinds of guns, especially rifles, and I'm like, I just don't have a need for so many of these. Honestly, if I could have one tomorrow with whatever money, I would probably buy a saw. I'm like, that thing just looks like so much fun to play with, but I don't have $10,000 to spend on a gun. I see so many precision rifles, or people call them sniper rifles. I don't call them that. I call them precision rifles. But I already have one of those, so, and I rarely ever shoot it. So if I don't shoot that, why the hell would I go spend money on another one? If I'm going to shoot one, I'm going to shoot the one that's already sitting there. My ARs, I shoot those all the time when I feel like spending money on the ammo, but the ammo is not crazy expensive. My precision rifle, that's the 6.5 Creedmoor. That ammo is stupid expensive. I mean, you're spending like $30 for 20 rounds, So if you go shoot that, that's something you shoot by yourself or with one person because those rounds are expensive. So if I shoot that, I only will probably take my dad with me or like one of my brothers, like one person. That's it, because it's too expensive. Unless they want to throw down the money for it, that's fine. And that's another thing. You take your friends shooting, you better make sure they're spending money on ammo. Don't let nobody shoot for free. Ammo is super expensive now. But anyways, I really want to know if anybody agrees with me about, how hard it is to buy a gun. You can't going into a gun store and just picking anything or buying something because it's pretty is so dumb. That's something I would have done in my 20s. Now my money's so precious to me. Like, I really have to put a purpose behind that thing, and honestly, a lot of it is because shooting pistols for me is just not that fun anymore. That's how I got into guns. My dad taught me how to shoot when I was in my early 20s, and that's all we had was pistols. We didn't have any rifles, so all we shot was pistols for like the longest time until I finally went and bought one rifle, and that thing was okay. It was a 30-06. That was the worst rifle to buy for your first rifle, but I didn't know shit about guns back then. I just saw a $300 price tag. I was like, fine, I'll take it. That's only $300, Come to find out, that was like the worst first rifle you could ever buy, because it was just a fucking hammer in your shoulder, The recoil on that thing was insane. But anyways, yeah, I just think I look at pistols and yeah, they're really cool. And some of them they're so expensive. I'm like I look at like a SIG or something, like a really nice SIG or something, or yeah, it's got a red dot on it and whatever. But I'm like, this thing's like $800-900, dude. Why would I spend that much money on it? Like, if I want to go shoot a pistol, I'll just shoot my Glock 19, man. I have just as much fun, The variety of pistol doesn't really make a difference in my brain, And someone watching this right now, I'll be like, oh, that's because you haven't shot this FN or this Smith & Wesson. Dude, I've shot a whole bunch of different guns. When it comes to pistol, they all feel the same to me. They're really not that much different. They feel a little bit different. The trigger walls are a little bit different. Some of them are a little more snappy right here. Like a Hellcat that I have, that thing's kind of snappy in the little part of your hand. But, I put a Hogue grip cover on it, so it fixed that problem. But that's a fun little thing to shoot, to play with. But yeah, most handguns, most of them feel the same to me. I mean, I get the same thrill and kick out of just about any of them, I did shoot a Ruger American 45 recently that belonged to a friend of mine. That was cool. The trigger wall was buried way the hell deep in there, like deeper than anything I've ever felt. If you know what I'm talking about, like I have a Taurus G2 or whatever. Yeah, it was really early. I bought that like 5 years ago. That thing's got a deep trigger wall. But this Ruger American, man, god damn, that thing had a deep trigger wall. I'm pulling the hell out of it. I'm like, I thought something was wrong with it, but I just kept pulling, and finally it went off, But yeah, and for you guys just getting into guns, man, don't buy anything because it's super expensive and you have the money. You're like, oh, this has got to be cool because it's like $1,000. No, that's like the dumbest thing you can do, man. Don't do that. Especially if you're getting your first AR. Don't do that. Man, if you're getting your first AR, build it. Or buy like a budget, like for like $500, like a radical firearms AR is a great first AR to buy. I have one of those, and man, that is a really cool rifle. I only paid $500 for it. Man, that's a lot of fun to shoot. But that's a rifle that's like, I shouldn't even have bought that because it's just, I have no purpose for it, but it's not something I'd easily get rid of because I love those rifles. And that's the other thing. Buying guns and selling guns now it's so hard for me to think about selling a gun because I know I'm going to take a loss on it. So that's why I'm like so crazy. That's the huge point I'm trying to make to you guys. If you buy a brand new gun today for a retail price, man, you better have a good reason to buy that and say, yeah, I'm actually going to shoot this thing, because otherwise you just have like a $500-$700 paperweight collecting dust in your safe or in your closet. That's stupid. That's money you could have spent on ammo or paying off your credit card or something, man. It's just dumb, So to me personally, I pick like 3 or 4 guns, platforms, that I really like, and I just stick with those. Like I said, I love the ARs. I could buy so many of those and never get sick of them. I want to get an AK and maybe 1 or 2 more in the future, That's something I'd like to get into. A couple of pistols is good for me. I already have a few of those. Like I said, I don't need to go out and go on some pistol buying binge. I just collecting those is just kind of pointless to me. It's like those morons who buy Desert Eagles. Those are the dumbest fucking guns I've ever seen. I shot one time. I was like, this is fucking stupid, man. This thing is so big and ridiculous. To me, that's for some idiot that has way too much money and doesn't know shit about guns. Those are the type of people that buy those Desert Eagles, man. I think they're fucking dumb. But that's my opinion. And everybody's got one. If you're getting into your first AR, if you really want to build one, man, that's the coolest thing to do. YouTube is such it's such a gift to the modern world now, especially the gun world, man, because everything I learned about ARs, I learned on YouTube. You know, you can learn anything on YouTube about how to build those things, man. You could know jack shit about guns, right? But you got like a little bit of mechanical, skills. If you got a little bit, just you're okay. You can change a spark plug. If you got a little bit of mechanical skills, you can go buy a whole kit with the strip lower and take that thing home, put it together yourself in your garage. You shouldn't have any problem as long as you got some common sense and you can follow simple directions. It's really not that hard. But anyway, I want to hear the comments on this, because I know I'll get all sorts of different ones. When it comes to guns, cars, motorcycles, everybody's got their own opinion. And stay away from the gun snobs, man. Those guys irritate the shit out of me. Those guys know everything about everything. But anyway, yeah, like. Please comment, share, subscribe. Common sense ain't common.